Hi, I'm your host Dave Kemp, and this is Future Ear Radio. Each episode, we're breaking down one new thing, one cool new finding that's happening in the world of hearables, the world of voice technology. How are these worlds starting to intersect? How are these worlds starting to collide? What cool things are going to come from this intersection of technology? Without further ado, let's get on with the show. All right, so we got a special episode here. This is the first time I've done a recording with somebody face-to-face.
Wow.
I'm joined here today by none other than the great Bob Stolzberg.
Oh,
so
wow.
Bob, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do. Give us a little bit of a background.
Wow, thanks for the intro. Thanks to all the listeners for being here and spending some time and giving us your attention. You could be anywhere, but you're listening to us, and I'm grateful for that. And Dave's just an amazing podcast, so thanks for having me as a guest. Hey, folks, I'm Bob Stolzberg. I'm the founder and CEO of VoiceXP. I started VoiceXP back in January of 2017, so it's been 3 years. We basically build voice apps, and most recently, we released a platform that allows anybody to create their own voice app with no coding. It only takes minutes. And the voice apps that they can create are premium, meaning they're built for businesses to get ROI, and they do things like send text messages and emails. But we didn't start that way. We started off 3 years ago building custom skills for businesses, and we were really looked at as an agency or a services model. And this year, in 2019, we pivoted to a SaaS model with our product and platform. So I like to think I've been around a little bit. Some of our customers are Hallmark, CenturyLink, Mercy, TiVo, Clayco, Square, Banner Health, Amazon. We've got a lot. And what's great is I think we've covered a lot of ground, meaning we've delivered for a lot of different customers doing diverse things, both on Alexa and Google and Samsung. So by being early in the space, that's really helped us out because it's given us the insight into what customers want, where the technology is going, and certainly given us some edges. And like, for example, we're the only ones in the world who have a Craigslist simple platform to build skills with these advanced features that, you can deploy this stuff globally. So by being a first market mover in voice has been awesome, but it's been a lot of work and a lot of trial and error, and a lot of failures too.
So I think it's cool. Like, I wanted to bring Bob on. Bob's local. We're both St. Louis guys. And so I said, hey, I want to get you on the podcast. And he's like, you want me to come on live? And I was like, yeah.
Why not?
So it's cool, though, because, Bob has been in this space, like he said, for 3 years. And the reason I wanted to bring him on was we're recording this in the middle of December 2019. And so we're heading into 2020. And I'm thinking, all right, I want to get somebody on that can sort of shed a light into what those first few formative years were like with somebody that's been on the forefront of Alexa and just voice technology in general. And so, Bob, why don't you share with us, in this first few years, let's say call it 2017 to 2020, even a little bit before that.
Yeah.
What have been some of your biggest learnings as this thing has evolved and matured, and the way that you sort of view the technology today as opposed to maybe initially when you first started to get involved in this space?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I don't think you need to hire an expensive agency. I know you don't need to hire a developer for this because we built a platform that allows you to crank this stuff out. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions about voice where you really need to dig into a strategy, and figure out, well, what are we going to do? Who's the audience we're going to go after? And, the simple answer is you need to treat your voice experience just like your website. And, when I talk to my customers, I said, when you launched your website in the 90s or 2000s, whatever it was, you had something really simple. And, it told people about you, your products and services, and, you maybe had a form on there that they could opt into and contact your sales or something and get your contact info. I go, start with that.
Yeah.
You don't need to have this campaign that needs to run and attract a certain demographic. It's great to have a contest or some purpose for your skill, but you should just treat it as a basic identity. And just seeing, we worked on really big $100,000 campaigns down to $2,500 to $100 a month skills. And I've just seen how easy it is now to create these voice apps with the right tools. And a good marketer should know how to market their website. And by looking at it through that lens, going, hey, if my voice app is just like my website, how am I going to get it out there? They're able to do that.
So I think one of the biggest things that I hear all the time is this idea of, like what exactly, okay, so you get to the point to where you understand I need a voice presence, right? I need, like you're likening it to a website. So totally. I need a voice website. And I think where the rubber tends to meet the road is, you understand that you need it, but you don't necessarily know what you're going to use it for. So can you speak a little bit about the clients that you've worked with that have been successful, like call them use cases or just call them the ways in which they're building these? Like what are some of the most, even as basic as they might be, like what are some of the best ways that you've seen various clients of yours implement this?
Yeah, the most successful customers are the ones that have a marketing plan wrapped around their skill that integrate, I should say, their voice app, their voice experience. That we'll homogenize it in any of those words, what we're talking about. But they have a plan on how to market it. They'll set up a landing page that tells people here's where you can go to download/enable it. Here's the questions you can ask. Here's some videos that show what it does. And then they'll integrate it into their other omni-channel marketing so that they can drive new users and re-engagement. And sometimes I tell my customers, the best customer is the one you've already got. Yeah. And so if you can, hey, we're going to launch a voice app and then we're going to send an email blast to them to get those existing customers to engage with it and then do that consistently, those are the most successful customers. That use it in a way that generates an ROI for their business or aligns with a strategy. Mm-hmm. For example, I'll give you two good use cases. CenturyLink, we started working with them to create an Alexa skill that turned into an Alexa marketing campaign in a box. And what they did was they sent out devices to sales prospects. They, nice Echo Dot. Yeah. No one's going to throw away a $50 Echo Dot back in the day, nor today. And they included a card with all the questions that you could ask their Alexa skill. And obviously the card said, hey, enable the skill, and then ask it this stuff. But that was very successful for them. They got more meetings. It increased their sales. They renewed for the 2 years later. It was just a successful marketing campaign. Another example was with what Square did, and they were onboarding new employees. The director in HR said, I want to try something different. And we basically gave Echo Dots to these 7 new employees and sent them home with a list of questions to ask an Alexa skill. It was really hidden at the time. It was private. There's so much about brand and marketing that they wanted to keep it on the down low back then. But what the result was, these new hires came in on day 2 and got onboarded at home from Alexa. And, it was, tell me who are the founders of the company, tell me about Cash App, and it was just basic onboarding. Yeah. And the feedback that they provided was, this was awesome. This was so exciting when an innovative, relevant company thanks for the device. There was genuine excitement from it. So that's since scaled, and that's another use case for human resources and sales for that matter. If you want to train people, you can have your own Alexa skill that onboards them, whether that's sales or a new hire. We also did something for a really big pharmaceutical company I can't name that talked about safety procedures, like what to do if you get chemicals on you. So those types of trainings and processes are things every business can use. Mm-hmm. It's just, does implementing this technology in that way align with a business strategy, or does it solve a problem? Like, are they going to spend money on this thing because it's going to reduce time or expenses? And if the answer is yes, they're in. Yeah. Hey, $100 a month for an Alexa skill that you can send your people home with, and they come up on day 2 as a new employee fully trained. That's huge. They didn't have to waste a day doing computer-based trainings. They could do it at their time. So all of that, are we increasing productivity and efficiency for the business? Those are the things that make successful business-related voice apps function.
Yeah. I mean, so for me, like, I think that this idea that you've mentioned where maybe you think about it as a extension of your customer service for your best customers, right? It's like, these are the people that I want to ensure that I retain. And so I'm going to send them this, and you design it with that in mind. I'm thinking about Clayco too. Like, Clayco is a good example of, this idea where they're communicating with their clients, and so Clayco is a construction company. It's a design firm, and so they do a lot of the big projects here in St. Louis about all kinds of architectural builds and stuff like that. And so what they'll do is they'll have, for any given project, they'll create an independent skill for that, and they will have communication that can be relayed. Like, what is the status of my project?
Yeah.
What are some frequently asked questions with it? So I think, to your point, I think something that's been really noticed is, because of the simplicity, with building some of these different voice experiences, not trying to boil the ocean, just trying to simplify data and make it so that you can retrieve information. It seems as if that is one of the big learnings that has been found, is what seemed daunting has now been realized that, okay, actually what maybe the route here is, you take a key customer, you figure out what exactly it is, and then you build something specific, maybe even for just one customer. You know what I mean? So I think that was a misconception early on, was this idea that you had to build something that was all-encompassing and this grandiose skill.
Right.
In reality, really, the simpler the better.
Absolutely, 100% right.
Yeah. So, okay, moving into, the next phase. Is
2020, yeah.
2020 and beyond. You were just at reInvent.
Yeah.
I know that. So tell us a little bit about, like, the way that you're envisioning this continuing to mature. Like, okay,
Sure.
So we just talked about some of the learnings from the past few years. How do you see the world of voice and all the hardware that's affiliated with it, like, in your eyes, where does this thing kind of lead into next?
Voice will be built into everything, everywhere. That's it, period. It's ubiquitous. Excuse me. One of the big announcements that came out recently is that they got Alexa down to the size of something smaller than a dime. That, it's 1 megabyte of memory to run everything. And so if you make a piece of hardware, whether it's a watch, a earbud, a headphone, anything, you can build Alexa into it. Like, even a light bulb, a socket.
Yeah.
Those are the things we commonly see. But I mean, because Alexa voice can be built into such a small form factor now and easily integratable, it's going to be everywhere. We see it, the writing's on the wall if you just watch TV. And specifically, guys, if you want to see some really good stats on voice, just watch the Google App Store and the iPhone app numbers after Christmas, when everybody plugs these devices in and they got to go download the app to see it. But it's in cars as well. And, I think, I forgot which one, but they're coming out every day where cars are being built in with Alexa as an option or the default voice. And so, I see everybody just driving down the road in their autonomous cars, and maybe you'll pass a billboard. Oh, I'm hungry for pizza. Alexa, ask Emo's Pizza, send me a coupon. Or, oh, I just got in an accident. I just passed a billboard. Alexa, ask Cantor Injury Law, what should I do if I'm in a car accident? Yeah. Oh, pull over, get safe. Would you like to talk to a lawyer? Yes. Instantly your phone rings, and it's the lawyer on the other end. Like, that's how I see things working. So voice everywhere, and with IoT and 5G and cloud, I mean, voice is really the thing that ties all of that together, because it's a user interface. It's going to command, control, and extract data. And so, I mean, my big bet is to build the platform that allows any business to get online with voice, kind of like a GoDaddy, but also to build their voice experiences like a Wix or a Squarespace, a website building tool that you can just easily build once, deploy everywhere, and put any type of information into these experiences that you want without coding. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just a voice everywhere world.
Yeah, that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's interesting. So one thing that, I mean, like I've thought about, so like the wall socket, for example, it's like, so if I'm curious on your thoughts is, okay, so if Alexa is truly everywhere, how do we manage all the invocations? How do you determine that my wall socket's going to speak to me instead of my smart speaker? You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, do you have any thoughts on
I have
how
no
that,
good answer for that.
Okay.
Like I often say that we call it a platform problem, right? Like that's a limitation from Amazon or Google, and they'll eventually fix it, right? And it might be, in this case, just spitballing. Well, because it might be a far field microphone, it can detect where you are, how many feet away, and these devices are all going to talk to each other. I think they already do now in some cases, but they're going to follow you.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So that way, if you're commanding something in the other room, the music can already follow you now.
True.
I think what people don't see coming is how voice and cameras really integrate.
Yeah.
And so, think of it, if people are putting Nest, doorbell cams all over. Well, why wouldn't you put a camera in every room of your house that's just the AI is recognizing who's where and then can tailor the experience to you, right? The lights follow you on. Mm-hmm. It's not just a motion sensor, it's camera based.
Yeah.
And with cameras and a voice integration, the cameras will be able to detect the emotion and some more context than the voice might not normally be able to pick up, and therefore you'll see a lot, because of this context, you'll see a lot more personalized experiences. And that's the key. A personalized experience might be the lights being dimmed or a different color, or the music playing a different stream, station, whatever, based on your mood.
Yeah.
And the AI recognizing and being proactive to adapt to that. Now, that might be scary to some people, but there are so many others who are like, I would love that. You walk in the house, I had a bad day, suddenly, the whole environment changes.
Yeah.
And another thing that people don't realize, because Amazon has so many services, they're really good technologists. And I see them releasing APIs for stuff all the time. They have a baby monitor API. So we're going to live in a world where everything is an API. And because of that, data will be very extensible and retrievable. And so, part of the VoiceXP platform, because it acts as a CMS, it doesn't just build skills and actions. We make that content extensible and available via API calls, because we envision a day where maybe your website or another voice app or something we don't know about just wants to grab the content, like the answer to that question, and not have to go through Alexa or Google, right? It's more like, I don't want to say open source, but it just makes it accessible and openly available.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there with the whole API piece. I totally agree there. I think that your Emo's Pizza example earlier, it's like, I'm hungry, I want a pizza, and you can just imagine that this is working on your behalf in the background, where it's actually proactively notifying you there's a special running right now at Emo's Pizza, and the way that it's fetching all this is because it's running 10 API protocols at once.
Yeah, so here's how it's going to work, okay? I'm gonna predict this goes down Q1 2020.
Okay.
I hope it works this way. You're going to see a billboard, and Alexa, ask pizza shop, whatever your local pizza shop is, send me a coupon, right? And you can imagine the billboard. It's got that really nice pepperoni pizza, the toasted raviolis if you're from St. Louis. Like it's got the thing, and it's got the little Alexa icon with the phrase, Alexa, ask Emo's Pizza, send me the coupon, right? And it's in the little Bookerly font that Amazon uses. So what's going to happen? You're going to be driving. You see that billboard, right? Maybe you're driving with the kids, and it's Chuck E. Cheese or Kentucky Fried Chicken, whatever. You're going to say that phrase to your Alexa. You don't even have to have the skill enabled. It's going to auto-enable it and then run that specific intent. So if I'm driving, right, I didn't have this thing enabled. Dad, I want to get Emo's. I want some toasted ravs. Alexa, ask Emo's, send me the coupon. Okay. Would you like me to use your Alexa contact information, or would you like me to send it to a different mobile phone number? Contact info. Okay, great. I've just texted you a coupon. We hope to see you soon. Check out our Toaster Rav special. Done, right? So what just happened there is they're going to either grab your info automatically from the provider, or they're going to ask for it. By the way, that business just generated a lead. That is a market qualified lead because they know you asked for a coupon. They got your full info. If you gave them permission, most likely you will. Suddenly, by doing that, you are now in their machine, their marketing machine, where they can retarget ads and, send you more stuff because they've got your phone number, email, mailing address. And if you like our platform, businesses can download the full contact info and send push notifications to users who opt in. Yeah. So if you auto-enabled that pizza skill, you gave it permission for notifications, suddenly they can send you a push notification anytime they want to. Yeah. And, abiding by the marketing rules that the platform's set up, which is not too difficult to bend, they can start sending you more friendly advertisements. It's not spam. It's you opted in for this thing and you joined their thing. So customers happy because, hey, they just got texted a coupon to go use. They could even, the experiences are also going to go, oh, hey, I can get your location information. Would you like me to connect you to the closest, place so you can place an order? Yeah. Or that skill is just going to ask you, would you like me to take your order right now? Yeah. Yeah, I want 2 pepperonis,
I mean, the point that you made there that I think is, it's the key point is if we do get to the point where you're actually able to, it's auto-enabling this all on your behalf, and you have, again, this is why Amazon is such a behemoth. They have your Amazon Pay info in there, right? So you can imagine that more or less it benefits Amazon, it benefits the retailer, or the pizza company, because just like you said, they've just captured all the information that is stored in their Amazon account. And so I think that's going to be the big aha moment here, is that companies are going to realize this is an incredible way to capture customer information in a way that, sure, you could proactively as the user go and download their app or go online and order the pizza and you give them your information that way. But this is a real, a pull method. I mean, in a way that I don't think we've seen it in this capacity before.
Because it's more convenient to just ask, and people are more reluctant to give you the information on a web form. Yeah. And what is most important is we're going to see the rise of in-situation invocations. Right? Yes. I was driving, I was in a car accident, I saw a billboard to ask a personal injury attorney, what should I do? They just generated a lead. By the way, those businesses pay a lot of money for those leads. Mortgage companies, real estate, personal injury and attorneys, some of those cases are worth a lot. They pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for some of that stuff. Yeah. And so voice just gives them that opportunity. And that's why I tell people, you have to be there right now because people are asking this stuff. And, what I've learned, to answer one of your questions earlier, is right now the buyers are still the innovators. Yeah. The people that are risk takers, that want to take a chance, that want to be relevant, get ahead of their competition. Those are the ones. It's the market still hasn't flipped yet.
Yeah. I love what you just said there, though, that in-situation invocations, that is on the money. And you're right. And I guess that, to me, I wonder, do you see the onus being on the user to retain all those invocations? Or do you think it's a true guerrilla marketing thing where, as a company, you need to be out there making customers as well aware as possible of what that invocation is? Because just to your point, you don't need an injury lawyer until you need an injury lawyer, but you've seen that billboard 1,000 times, and it's been branded in your brain.
Yeah, I think, the onus is on the marketing people to put that information out there for people to know what to ask. That's the biggest barrier. I use the skill, I say help, right? Well, there's probably 50 things it could do, but the help menu is only going to tell me 10 of them. It's up to the marketer to really come up with consistent graphics, however they're marketing, right? It might be on the radio, for example, and where people hear that intent. And one of the platform problems today that will obviously, it makes common sense that it's going to be solved, is you have to say open, start, enable, launch. Like, no, you won't have to do that. You're going to see the magic phrase on a billboard. You're going to say that, and it's going to just work.
Yeah.
And the platforms will solve that problem because there's so much outcry from businesses, developers, and they get that's a barrier.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
I think it's one of the biggest barriers.
Right, and once that barrier is down, then I think it's going to be a mad dash for the marketers of the world out there to try and lock in those phrases. You know, like, who's the best pizza in St. Louis? You know, somebody's going to want to get that in there so that it responds with their skill. Well, let me close it out. Hey guys, if you are interested in voice, you should go to voicexp.com, sign up for an account. It's totally free, no credit card required. You can start building a premium Alexa skill in minutes. And I mean, this thing can answer questions and answers. You can upload pictures as background images. It sends text messages. So if I say text me a menu, I'll get a text message with the menu or the link to it attached. And then it'll make phone calls. So if I say like contact sales, I'll go, okay, what's your phone number? And then it will call me, and then it will connect me to the sales department all automatically through Alexa. So if you want to see the most advanced voice app building platform out there and try it for free to help your business, just go to voicexp.com and send me a message. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Just search for Bob Stolzberg or VoiceXP. But hey guys, thanks for your time and attention.
Yeah. Thanks you, Bob. Thanks for everybody for tuning in this week. We'll chat with you next time. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Future Ear Radio. For more content like this, just head over to futureear.co, where you can read all the articles that I've been writing these past few years on the worlds of voice technology and hearables and how the two are beginning to intersect. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll chat with you next time.